Hey, welcome to OBC Academy. So this is a complete video of Chapter 1 Business Studies for Class 11. Without further ado, let's start this video. Okay, welcome to Chapter 1 Business Studies Class 11 full series of the first chapter. So let's begin this. As we have already said, we are starting with Chapter 1 Business Studies. So the first chapter is Business, Trade and Commerce. Before starting this chapter, I have to tell you there are so many other topics which has been added. Even though they added it, we are only doing quite important ones. So don't worry about rest. So starting with economic activity, you may ask me why we are starting with economic activity. Why not with what is business? That will make you sense after this slide, because you have to know what is economic activity before knowing what is business. That's why we are teaching what is economic activity. Economic activity is nothing but which has a main intention of making money. That's it. They're doing something and they have an expectation of making money with that job or with that task. So that is called economic activities. If they don't have any economic activities in their mind, or if they don't have any money making thing in their mind and doing for simply for satisfaction purpose or for helping others, that's not called as economic activity. I'll tell you what is that. But first, activity which are undertaken by people with the objective of earning money. If they have an objective of earning money, that is called economic activities. Example, production of goods, trade, like this. And we're moving on to the next slide, that is non-economic activities. Okay, what is non-economic activity? It is dead opposite of economic activities. That's why we call it as non-economic activities. Like in this picture, you may see it. We have posted some of the emotional, psychological satisfaction picture, right? Because these are the non-economic activities. If you help others without intention of money or without making like profit from out of it, that is called non-economic activity. If I read this, those activity which aim not to earn money and not to create wealth but to satisfy social, psychological, emotional need. Like suppose if housewife is cooking healthy food for his family, that is called as non-economic activity because you don't have any intention to make money with that cooking process. So that may apply to even if you are helping to a poor ones, because those are all non-economic activities. And now we are starting with business. What is business? Business is as simple as that, because we already know some part of a business, because that is what we till now we discussed about economic activities and non-economic activities. In the business is completely refers to economic activity. Like we discussed what is economic activity, you all know which is economic activity, which include production of goods or procurement of goods, okay, or sale of goods and services with the motive of earning profit and satisfying the human needs in the society. By doing that, they're making money. That is called business. So I hope that makes sense. Either trading, either doing production or the procurement by satisfying the human needs, that's called business. And next, we are talking about characteristic of business. First of all, the first characteristic is it's an economic activity. We won't name as a business if they are not making for economic activities. Suppose if some people are helping to other people with a free or without the intention of making profit, that is not called as business. If some people are trading with the goods, that is called business. So this is the first feature. If they are doing for economic activity, that is called business. That means money minded. And next is production or procurement of goods and services. There must be production or a procurement of goods and services. If not, that's not called as business. If you're not producing anything or storing anything, or you're not giving any services or producing any goods, then how can you call that as a business? So this is a feature. And if you ask me, if there is no production of goods and services or procurement of goods and services, then it is not called as business. Wait, because we have other features, that is there must be sale or exchange of goods. for money or money worth. That is called as economic activities as well as business. So it must include sale or exchange of goods and services. Otherwise, it is won't called as business, or it is not called as a business. It is nowhere related to business, because if you are not exchanging, if you are giving for free, that's not called as a business. So next feature is dealing in goods and services on regular basis. If you're not doing on regular basis, that's not called as a business. You must do it on regular basis. That must, like every day, every week, like that. It should be regular. The service should be regular and the goods should be regular basis. If you're doing one day and you're not doing in the rest of your life, how can you call that as a business? Okay, next, profit earning. Whenever there is a money making process, or whenever you're getting money as a profit, that's also called as a business. So next is uncertainty of return. If you are getting uncertainty in your return, or if your return is uncertainty is nothing but irregular. You may get 1,000 rupees profit, you may get 2,000 rupees profit, or it depends on how much sale has been done on the current year, current month, for a fixed period of time. So when you're getting uncertainty of return, that is called, that's one of the feature. That's it. You cannot judge by one feature either it's a business or not, because you can't judge by uncertainty of return. It should include all those other features. So next, element of risk. In every business there will be element of risk, because you're getting profit, and whenever the greater return, there will be greater risk. If you're doing something and you're taking more risk, there will be more profit. So there will be element of risk. If there is no element of risk, probably there will be less profit. Next, we're moving on to the type of economic activity. That is, there will be three types. Okay, business, profession, employment. As we all know, business is nothing but boss who control his business, or he only considering his business. And the next one is profession. Profession is something but you are good at some particular work. That is called profession. If you're good at law, you're called as a lawyer. That's also a profession. If you're good at some subject, if you're in teaching field, that's called as a teaching field or teaching profession. And if you know about medical, you'll be in the medical field as a doctor. So it depends. And if you don't do anything and you're working with other company as an employee, that's called employment. I won't go deeper about this, because these are all a very common thing: business, profession, and employment. We already know what is business. We already discussed about what is business. And profession is, just now I said, profession is nothing but you're good at some particular skill and you're pro at that skill, or probably you are specialized in that particular job and you're giving service or you're rendering service. So that's where you call it a profession, and for that you need a certificate. Okay, for that you need certificate. For a lawyer you need a certificate. For a doctor you need a certificate. For every profession there will be a board, and that will give you that will provide you certificate to practice that profession. And next, we're moving on to the next slide, that is classification of business activity. So the first of all, this is the whole chapter. This is the bird view of a whole chapter, and the rest all of the chapter will be discussed based on this. So the first, we know about what is business, and in that business it will be divided into two parts, that is industry and commerce. And industry will divide it into further primary, secondary, and tertiary, and commerce will be divided into trade and auxiliaries to trade. I'll discuss about that in a next video, but now we only discuss about industry in this video. So in industry we have primary, secondary, tertiary. What is primary then? I'll tell you the meaning of primary, but now we'll go through only divisions of activities. Okay, primary, we have divisions, further division in a primary, that is extractive and genetic. In secondary we have further divided into two groups, that is manufacturing and construction. In manufacturing, further it divided into four groups, that is analytical, synthetic, processing, assembling. Okay, now we'll move to the commerce. In a commerce we have two types, that is trade and auxiliaries to trade. And in the trade we have further division, that is internal trade and the external trade. And in internal trade again we have two division, wholesale, retail. In external we have three types or three categories, that is import, export, intraport. And again if we move on to the auxiliaries to trade, we have five categories, that is transportation, warehousing, insurance, banking and finance, and advertising. So we'll discuss about this in next video. Again, we are back with the second part. So let's start where we left. This is where we left, and we are moving on to the next slide. Okay, the first classification of business activity, that is industries. What is industries? We are all familiar with industries. It refers to an economic activity which converts resource into useful goods that include production and processing of goods. We'll talk about this further divisions right now. So industry is something which converts resource into goods. That's it. Next, industry. In industry, we have three types: primary, secondary, tertiary. Tertiary can also called as service industry. We'll discuss about that in a moment. But now we'll start with first primary industry. What is primary industry? Primary industry can be related to natural resources, extracting or developing natural resource, living organisms or anything like that, which is basically related to natural resources or reproduction, stuff like that. So in the primary industry, we have two categories. That is thus, first one is extractive. Name itself says it's like a self-explanatory. Extractive industry refers to you're extracting something from ground or air, from water, or maybe these are all the three, right? We only have three places to extract, that is earth, water, air. That's it. Okay, you're extracting basically something out of air, water, or earth. Or if I read this, extractive industry refer to those industries under which something is extracted out of earth. That's it. Basically, you're extracting coal, iron, oil, maybe some minerals, something like that. In a simple way, you're just extracting, like the name itself says. And next is genetic industry. Genetic refers to those industry which is purely related to the breeds, animal breeds and vegetable plants breeds. They may experiment on poultry farming, agriculture, dairy. Their aim is to produce a good breeds, or more improvement vegetables or plants or animals out of the experiments, or their aim is to create the best out of that. So genetic industry refers to those industry under which the breeds of animals and vegetables are improved and made more useful, like poultry farming, agriculture and dairy farming, tree planting. We usually get a seedless, like nowadays we are getting seedless watermelons, brainless humans. No, we are all having brain at least. Okay, next is secondary industry. When I said secondary industry, it is a simple meaning of second handle product, because I'll tell you why this is called a secondary industry. It used previously manufactured or produced goods to manufacture further goods, or like if I say cotton is manufactured in genetic industry, and using cotton a industry is producing shirts or cloths, that is called as a secondary industry, because it is using the secondary product which is already existed from genetic industries. So if I read this industry or new products are manufactured by using previously produced things. Example, producing cotton in a primary industries, manufacturing cloth out of cotton is in the secondary industry. So okay, next we are moving on to the next division. In the secondary industry, we have a further division, that is manufacturing and construction industry. In manufacturing industry, basically it converts raw material or semi-finished goods to a new product, okay, or new finished product. Just like a paper from a bamboo or sugar from sugarcane. That's why we call it as a manufacturing company. You're just converting raw material into goods, finished goods, or semi-finished goods to finished goods. There is a conversion. That's it. Next, we are moving on to the further division, that is analytical industry. Analytical industry is something which tells itself by this picture. One product will divide it into so many other products, such as the crude oil. If crude oil is extracted, those crude oil will be divided into so many other sub products like petrol, diesel, gasoline. It goes on like that. So if somebody asks you what is analytical industry, just write this: many things will be manufactured out of one material, that is called analytical industries. Example is crude oil. Next, processing industry. Processing industry is an industry which converts through so many process into one product. They'll take one thing and they'll input to so many process to make it finished product. Just like iron ores cannot be produced directly, there will be a lot of process and that will be converted into steel finally. So that is called processing industry. Next, we have synthetic industry. Synthetic industries are which they're mixed with so many other products to formulate or to produce one single product, like paints, Asian paints, cosmetics. So various chemicals are being mixed to produce one product. These are all synthetic. And next we are moving on to the next, that is assembling. When assembling different industry products, like the RAM is from one company and graphic card is from other company, there are so many industries which produce different product, and that will be assembled to formulate or to create one final product, like watches, computers. That's how. And next we're moving on to the next thing, that is tertiary or service industry. This industry only provides services. They won't manufacture any product, they only give services. Those services which helps to run your business smoothly. Like if you are producing goods in Delhi and that should bring to South India, you need transportation, right? So for that, this tertiary industry will produce a transportation services. So these types of services are called as tertiary or service industries. Next and last part of this video, that is construction industries. These industries will just construct a dam or buildings. In a simple word, if some industries are related to construction field, that is called as construction industries, just like building construction, dam construction, road construction, bridge construction. So that's it. And if you like this video, hit like and share with your friends. We'll see you in the part 3. Bye. Hey, welcome back to the third series. This is where we left in the last class. Again, we'll continue from this class. So, okay, here we are with commerce. By now, if you are watching this video, probably you took commerce. Then what is commerce? Commerce in a simple term which refers to, actually in these two pictures, like first picture, you're seeing that some workers, like imagine she is a worker and she is working in a factory or in industry, whatever. Again, in the next picture, consumer or a customer buying something or they're in shop. This is what the commerce. It's not all about distribution. It's not all about manufacture. It is an activity which helps to transfer goods from producer to consumer. This is called commerce. In commerce, we have multiple things. We'll discuss about that now. Next, in a commerce, we have two activities, that is trade and auxiliaries to trade. What is trade? Trade is, in simple term, buying and selling of goods are called trade. Okay, buying and selling of goods or services are called trade. Then what is auxiliaries to trade? Auxiliaries to trade can be explained in coming classes, but before that, we'll explain what is different division of trade. In trade, we have a further classification, that is internal trade and external trade. What is internal trade? Internal trade is a very simple. Again, if you are doing business within the boundary of your country, that is called internal trade. And that also classified into two categories, that is wholesale and retail. We all know these two, wholesale and retail, okay? But we still go through it. What is wholesale trade? Again, it's very simple. We all know it. Selling and buying in a large quantity, okay, that is called wholesale. If you want me to explain again retail trade, just in the simple term, buying and selling of goods and services in relatively small quantity, that's all. Like it will sell to direct ultimate customers, that's called retail. Next, we are moving on to external trade. What is external trade? External trade refers to, name itself says everything, you are selling goods and services to other countries. In the other word, buying and selling activity will happen between two or more countries. Out of your boundary or out of your country's boundary, that's called external trade. Next, export and import. In external trade, we have further division, that is import and export and intra-port. What is import? We all know, again, this is a common term which we all use in our daily life. I hope so. Like in this picture, you probably can understand what we are trying to say. In the first leftmost part, we have a flight carrying goods. Actually, flight won't carry in that way. Ship will carry in the same way, which we are showing. On road, which is like trucks are carrying in the same way. Okay, by this you can understand, when goods are imported from one country, that is called import trade. When goods are importing from other countries to our country, that is called import trade. And again, it's dead opposite for export trade. What is export trade? Again, it's very simple. when goods are sold to other countries, that is called export trade. Then we are moving on to the next one, that is intraport. What do you mean by intraport trade? Again, it's a mixture of import and export. Yes, in the first picture, in import trade, we put this picture like in the left picture, which we are showing now, and the right side picture is for export. That means you import goods from one country, and this is important, and you're selling the same goods to other country. You may ask how and why. Probably lack of road facilities or any other facilities. For that, I'll give you an example how it works. When you import goods from US, and US won't sell goods to directly to Nepal or Bhutan because they won't order in bulk quantity. That's why they will send goods to our country, and from our country we are sending goods to Nepal or Bhutan. This is a quite simple example for intraport. You're buying goods from one country and selling the same goods to other country. That's called intraport trade. Next, auxiliaries to trade. Quite important because these are all not trading. It helps for trading. I'll read you out the meaning. What is auxiliaries to trade? Basically, these are activities. It's actually an activities. Okay, these are all an individual activities which remove various hindrances. That means hardness, or it basically smooth out a business activities which arise in the connection of production and distribution of goods. That is called auxiliaries to trade. These activities will help for production to distribution of goods. Okay, then what are those activities? Those are these five activities, that is transportation, communication. Without transportation and communication, you can't run business, right? Without transportation, you can't send that goods to those demanded area. Next, banking and finance. If you're not getting fund, how can you start business? We'll talk about this in a moment. Insurance. Without insurance, you can't be safe. Okay. Warehousing, you need a place to store. That's called warehouse. And advertising. What is advertising? Advertising is to showcase your product. You have to advertise your product. You have to tell that this is my product and this is my product feature. So if you buy this product, you can use this product in like this ways. So that's how you can give advertisement, or that's how consumer know about your product. Next is actual thing, that is a full explanation of transportation, and it goes on what we just explained. So starting with transportation and communication, what is transportation? In a simple way, you are taking goods from one place to other place, or one country to other country, or in a simple word, production of goods take place at one place, and whereas a demand in different countries or different places, you have to transfer to those places. That is called transportation. Transportation helps to transfer goods and services. Services can be availed at anywhere, but goods has to be transported. Then communication. Communication is an important tool. It is a very effective tool. So communication is an exchange of information from one person to other person, or from producer to consumer, or producer to trader. That's how communication works. You have to know where your demand is, and you have to ask for your traders, or you have to ask for your suppliers how much quantity raw material you want, like that. So communication is very important. Like this video is now communicated through YouTube channel in various like states, right? That's also called a communication. And next, actually, it's a service. Banking and finance. Banking and finance, it's actually quite very important again, just like communication, because you need to purchase raw material, you need to purchase machinery, you need to bear all expenses. For that, you need business finance. Okay, that can be given by banking or banks and financial institutions. So you need these services to run your business. Without proper fund, you can't run any business. Next, insurance. If you are doing a business and you're not covering your risk or losses against insurance, you are at very huge amount of risk. You're probably a few steps away from huge losses, because insurance will cover you against huge losses or loss from the stolen of goods, or by theft, fire, transit loss, or something like that. Insurance has to be done to protect your loss, or to protect or to minimize your loss. So next is warehousing. What is warehousing? You can't produce goods when there is a demand. If customer asks for 10 product, you can't produce 10 product and send to that customer. That won't happen at any business. For that, you need to keep your product ready. Where you will keep? You need a warehouse or you need a go down. So that is called warehousing, storing goods in warehousing for time to time production. So whenever there is a demand, you have to send that goods to those demanded areas. Next, advertising. What is advertising? We all know advertising. We don't want to explain it again and again. We all see advertisement. Advertisement is a huge expensive business, and it's a service which helps to know your product to the consumers or the prospective buyers or future buyers. That's it. You'll give knowledge through your advertisement to your consumers or to prospective buyers. Next, we are moving on to the objective of business. Every business has their own objective, and everyone has their own objective. Like you guys have some objective, and I have some objective, and we all have objective. When you have two or more objectives, that is called multiple objectives, right? There are so many objectives, and in different areas we need good life, good health, money. Like these are all various objective. That is called multiple objective. It's not particularly related to one area. That is called multiple. So like that, business also have multiple objective. So multiple objective, first one, that is market stand. In order to stand in market for a longer period, if you want to start your business and hold for 10 years, you cannot run through advertisement. You cannot depend on giving discounts. You cannot depend on promotions. You have to create your own customers or genuine customers. You have to satisfy their needs. You have to give good services or good product. By that, you can stand in the market. Most of our startups were failing before 4 and 5 years. Before 4 and 5 years, they are shutting their business. There are so many business who were shut down before 4 and 5 years. Like even some business were closed before 1 year. That's how you have to satisfy your customer. You have to bring happiness for your customer by your product or services. That's how you can survive in the market for longer period, just like this guy did in Life of Pi. Okay, next, innovation. Innovation is something which has to be innovated every now and then. You can't stick to one particular technology or feature or product, because every day technology is changing. You have to innovate new product, new method, new production, new distribution ways. You have to create new market. That's why innovation is a key part in every business. If you are using old method, old product, old method of like distribution, old method of production, you're lacking. You have to improve your production or distribution or new features for the consumer in your product. So that should be added for your product. Otherwise, you can't stand in the market. You have to innovate things. You have to be, there is a saying, always first mover has more advantage than anybody, because he has a good advantage in the market, because nobody have competition for them. So innovation is a key tool, and this is again objective. Next objective, productivity. Productivity is something which will be calculated by your output, how much you're giving as an input and how much you're getting as an output. The value of input and the value of output, that is called productivity. If that's not actually productivity, the value of input is more than the value of output, that is called productivity. So like what Jerry is doing now is productivity of eating, right? Next, physical and financial resource. You need physical and financial resource, but you can't use whenever you want or inadequate finances. You must acquire finance or physical resource according to the requirement, and you should use it efficiently. If you want 5 worker, you can't hire 6 workers, because that will eat up your profit or that will give you more cost of production. So in order to minimize that, you need to acquire your resource or you need to spend your money wisely. For that, you need to acquire finance whenever you want. Next, money, profit earning. That's it. So what is profit earning? Profit earning is making money. We all go to job because of salary. We all do business because of profit. We all work for money. That's it. And every business will do the same thing. They will work for money. If money is not there, or if profit is not there for this business, they can't survive in the market. If profit is not there, they can't grow their business and they can't expand their business. They will close the business. So profit is a key tool, or profit is what every business should focus. That's not a first target, because first you have to create your market, first you have to create your customer, then it will automatically give you profit. So but actually profit is quite important to grow your business, expand your business, and to survive in the business you need profit. Next, manager performance and development. Your ideas all cannot be transferred directly to the worker. You need a middle person, or you need a manager to manage those things. For that, you need to hire an coordinator, a coordinator called a manager. So every business need a good manager, or a manager who can coordinate business activities. He or she has to be motivator for employees, and he is a key tool who exchange your ideas to workers, or he is a person who can transfer your ideas to the low level management. So he has to motivate the employees and implement the plan. So that's why this is also another objective. Next, worker performance and attitude. In every business or in every company, you must improve your worker performance. If you are not improving your worker performance, then you are wasting your resources. For that, you need to positively motivate your employees to work in the best manner or best possible manner. For that, you need a good manager and good workers so that you can improve your business. So this is again another multiple objective. Next, social responsibility. Social responsibility is not unnecessary, or it's not a compulsory, but these are the obligation which has to be contributed by organization or companies, like by solving social problems or in many other ways. Social responsibility has to be taken as a duty so that our society will improve. So this is again another objective. Next, we are talking about business risk. What is business risk? When you are earning less profit, when you are getting loss in your business, that is called risk. When you don't have adequate profit, or when you are making loss, that is called business risk. How can business get into risk? Due to uncertainty. If you know everything, how can you just step into losses? So these are all uncertainty. For example, when there is a change in the taste of the consumer, or a preference of a consumer, or whenever there is a strike by your employees, or whenever there is a change in the law by your government or policies, or even sometime increase in the competition, these are all the business risk. These are all uncontrollable. The taste of consumer, just like in this picture, that is me and that is my mobile, and this is new mobile. Whenever there is a new mobile in the market, I'll be checking out that new mobile, the way and the features. My old mobile is like, wait a minute, you did that last month for me and now you're changing your mind. Stupid. Okay, humans are stupid. Okay, next is nature of business risk. We are talking about natures, and in that the first one is business risk arise from uncertainty. Uncertainty is it's out of your control, like natural calamities, change in the demand, taste, preference, change in the technology, prices. These are all not in your hand. So the first business risk, the nature of business risk arise from uncertainty of business. You can't expect anything from that. Next one, risk is an essential part of every business. So you can't stop your risk, or you can't eliminate your risk. Risk will be there in every business. You can only minimize the risk by taking insurance or by taking advanced measures. You can minimize your risk, but you can't eliminate full. Next, degree of risk depend mainly upon the nature and the size of a business. If you are running a huge business, or if you are doing a big business that has a multiple crore of capital, then your risks are large. When you're doing a business in a small capital, then your risks are less. So next feature, profit is a reward of risk taking. When you're taking huge risk, like I just said, if you are investing huge capital, then your profit will be more. If you are investing less capital, your profit will be less. So the profit is ultimate reward for every business. Next, causes of business risk. What are the causes of business risk? The number one causes is natural causes. This is beyond human control. Whenever there is a flood, earthquake, heavy rain, or famine, these are all the natural causes which are caused by nature. It's completely out of human control. So this is the number one causes, and the next cause is human causes. Due to negligence of employees or by strike, human causes are controllable up to a certain extent, but negligence cannot be eliminated fully, because in every organization there will be negligibility, and due to that there will be so much of losses. Next, economic causes. Economic causes are which is related to some specific areas, like there is a change in the demand, there is a change in the market conditions or price, supply. These are called economic causes. Due to that, if price is changing, or due to that if you are getting losses, these are called economic causes of loss. Next, physical causes. Physical causes are caused by machines, okay, or any other failure of machines, like busting of boiler or something like that, which is related to machines or electric shock circuit. Next, other causes. Other causes are caused by political parties or political disturbance and fluctuation in currency. If our rupees is losing value against dollar, that is called fluctuation in exchange. So these two are the other causes for losses or business risk. Next, we are moving on to starting of business, the basic factors. These are the 10 factors which will be helpful to start a business. You may get question for 5 marks in a practical oriented question. You don't need to explain anything, just you have to write these 10 points. So even though we like try to explain as much as possible. First of all, the first thing you need to consider is type of the business or line of a business. On what line you're doing business, like it's a manufacturing business or it's a service business, or what kind of business you're doing. That's what you are selecting first, and then you're selecting the scale or size of a business. If you are doing a small, medium, large, it completely depend on you. As a promoter, you have to choose your business size. Next is form of business ownership. Business ownership are just like partnership or sole proprietorship or any other private organizations. If you're starting sole proprietorship, it's your wish. Again, if you are starting with partners, again, that's your wish. Next, the fourth one is you have to set your location for your business. So that's also very important in the business setting factors. So these are the basic factors. Fourth factor, you have to set your location where you are starting your business. Next, you have to arrange your financial requirement, and sometimes you have to borrow money, sometimes you will be adjusted from yourself. Like if it is a sole proprietorship, you can arrange your money by yourself. That's all your personal money. And if it's a partnership, you have to collect or you have to gather the financial resources. Next is physical facilities. Physical facilities are like machineries, furniture, printer. These are all the stuffs of physical facilities. The next one is plant and layout, that is called building for your business. And next one is committed workforce. In order to run your business, you can't run with your physical facilities or plant layout. You need a worker, so you have to hire workers, like skilled, unskilled managers. So you need to hire a workforce. After that, you have to plan your tax, how much you have to pay as a tax, like that. And then the final thing is you have to set up your business. So these are the 10 step. You don't have to worry about this explanation, just write 10 step in order. That's it, and that's it, guys. This is an end of the first chapter. So if you like this video, as usual, you have to click like button, because the effort we are putting to make these videos are required likes and shares. Make sure that you are ring bell icon so that you will get notification every time we post a new video. So again, this is Sushant. We will see you in the next video. Bye.